Three, two, one, and we should be live. Mr. McWomble, you want to go ahead and take it away with the intro?
Hello, welcome everybody. We are the Beerumverates. We are a group of guys from Sifted.net who like good beer and video games. We are here to talk about both. Probably less of one and more of the other. We aren't here to promote drinking. Please drink responsibly. Any beers or breweries we may talk about are not sponsoring us, even Teneo Creek, by some weird happenstance. The amount that Matt talks about them, they're not sponsoring us. Can you Adam and Eve it? This week, special disclaimer, we are talking about things that deal with the absurdity of video games when it comes to the portrayal or apparent prevalence or presence of mental health conditions. We are not prescribing to say that we know what the hell we are talking about, but we are just facilitating a discussion that shows off the absurdity of how people portray these things in video games. And we're going to have a bit of fun at the same time, but we are not making fun of people who may suffer from mental health problems.
Right.
If you take offense to this, shut up.
They're all fictional characters.
Fictional characters.
It's definitely a conversation in jest, if nothing else.
Yeah. We have someone new with us. Thank you very much, Liam, for coming on. How are you? How are things in Cambridge?
Spiffing at the minute. I mean, in the most British way, it's actually sunny weather at the minute.
Getting dark here. That's why I've got the lights on.
Yeah.
It's nice to have another. It's nice to have another British person on this show. Normally, I'm outnumbered.
Well, you have to make up for it with wit and humour.
Yeah, you know, which I do in
They
spades.
are here to soften your load.
Brill. Right. I haven't got a rumour this week, but do we want to do rumours?
I got a rumor.
I got a rumour.
Our rumor has it. Ooh. So obviously, as you know, I have been a very big skeptic of Cyberpunk 2077. Or is it?
Okay.
And I've been not believing what everyone says about this game. That's going to be the most fantastical thing. It's the most amazing, life-changing game of the modern age. So I did see someone did comment in an old video, Shellburn from Sifted. I see you. If you know
that shit stir.
This person told me that I don't finish games, and I took offense to that. So I went to go finish The Witcher 3 because I didn't finish it. So I'm working on it now. My rumor has it that because I've been so skeptic, Cyberpunk CD Projekt Red had said, "Oh, let's just screw with this guy." So what they have done to my Witcher game is they had made my horse do yoga. They have caused my a character to completely do my body's gone disappearing Harry Potter style. They've crashed my game 7 times in the middle of things where I have to basically there's an error appears on my screen and I have to I turn it off, put it back on, and I lose potentially sometimes even 20 minutes of progress. And they're doing it to fuck with me just because they're like, hey, this guy doesn't believe in it. We're just going to make him not believe in it even more. Because, man, I'm struggling with this Witcher stuff. It's great. I'm having fun with it. But, man, is this game freaking broken.
I'm surprised you're running into so many bugs because it's been out for so long now.
It's been out for 2 years. How do you not have it fixed by now?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. So I think it's purposeful. My rumor is my person said that CD Projekt Red doesn't like people that don't like their stuff, and they like to mess with them if they don't. So I'm getting behooved right now by CD Projekt Red.
By you saying that about Cyberpunk 2077, you do realize that Matt's YouTube channel is just going to get destroyed. all the fans, the rabid fans of a game that doesn't even technically exist.
If we don't get
I'm going to lose Twitter followers over this, guys. I'm going to lose a lot of Twitter followers.
Well, what console are you playing on? Just by happenstance.
What's happening that causes it?
What console are you playing on?
Oh, console.
I know he sounds funny. That's because he's from England.
I gotta turn up my my headphones. So I just did. I am playing on a PlayStation 4 Pro, and I'm playing the digital version. This is like the Game of the Year edition. It's called the Complete Edition, and it's a digital version. And so I don't get how the Complete Edition comes complete with horse yoga.
It's part of the Game of the Year edition version. Roach had a coach. And
that's why. Well, and then I also
Have you ever seen a horse doing downward facing dog? No, not until now.
No, he's doing downward facing horse.
Right, I think we should move on. Liam, have you got a rumor?
Have I got a rumor? No, I haven't got a rumor.
Okay.
I totally forgot the structure of this show, and I wouldn't have gotten a rumor if I had remembered to get a rumor.
No worries, Matt. Rumor? I haven't got one either. So it doesn't matter.
I think we'll just basically skip that.
The amount of stuff that I've had going on this week.
I'm supporting you
bonkers,
all with horse yoga.
That's enough for all of us, I think.
Yeah, horse yoga's enough for everyone.
I did too much of a hot take for you guys. It was a little too hot. Like just whew.
Right. So Liam, you've come on a show called the Beerumverate. Are you actually a beer drinker?
Way to just call out a guy like that. That's a little harsh.
I was until 2 months ago when I was in a terrible accident. A keto diet, and keto diets don't allow for beer drinking. Unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah. well done. Keep up the good work.
Oh yeah, I mean it's working out. Other than non-beer drinking, I'm not a big beer drinker, so it's not that big of a deal. But I mean, I do miss having a beer, I would say.
What was the one you did go to back in the day?
My favorite beer, if you want to start with that, my favorite beer is Peroni, but the red top Peroni, if you've ever seen that.
Yes.
Peroni with the red label. Yeah, it's called Rosa, I think.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, it's.
What's different about it from regular?
It's the Peroni Nostro Azzurro is just their regular lager. The Rosso is it's a cross between. I've drunk it on the show before. Were you not paying attention?
Probably not.
Fuck's sake! Right, so it's like it's like a lagered brown ale.
Okay, all right.
So it's much deeper in color, deeper in flavor. It's got kind of a malty bitter note than you would get in a lager.
But it's still
it's very nice. Yeah.
Okay.
It is very delicious and incredibly Moorish. Like I could have like 4 of those beers and feel really good. You know.
Yeah.
It's not terrible on the alcoholics index, but it's a nice drink to drink while you're watching a film or playing games or something.
Nice.
Yeah. Good. Matt, what have you got from us from Teneo Creek this week?
I'm actually drinking Bad Beat Brewing. It's called The Ringer.
Need a t-shirt that says Teneo Creek on it.
Right. I've had this before, and I didn't realize until I picked it up after the fact that this is the Pilsner that's too hoppy for me. Do you remember that? But it's actually, I don't know, it's pretty crisp. It's clean. It is a Pilsner. It's just, it's took the hops just one notch too high, I think.
A top too high?
Yeah.
You said hop. It said hop, and you said how high. Oh god, that was terrible. Mitch, it looks like you're drinking something that you were drinking last time.
No, this is a different one. But it's something I have drank before, just not the last time we were on. This one's the Leinenkugler's. I still have a couple of them I'm trying to finish off. So this is the Orange Shandy. I only have 2 beers left. So it's that one, and then I still have the Northeast I got to finish off, and I still have the Maj Pit, one-man Maj Pit, which God, after the show, I was like, that was pretty strong. 7% was a lot.
Right. Let's crack on. So we are going to talk about some mental health conditions that some of our favorite video game characters may be suffering from. This is going to be a bit of an absurd episode rather than anything deep diving into people's psyches. And to start with the absurdity, I'm going to start with Mario.
Do we think that it's drug induced?
No, I believe Mario suffers from murderous rages brought on by separation anxiety from Princess Peach.
Okay.
Stay with me. Stay with me. You think every time Princess Peach gets taken away, Mario, whilst smiling, the mustachioed plumber will murder an entire population of the Mushroom Kingdom just to get her back.
It's almost like obsession disorder, a little bit of obsession too.
I'll tell you what, this could have been in a different episode for misunderstood video game villains. But Bowser...
Mario's the villain? That's what you're saying?
Bowser is not the villain.
Bowser's sending people to get murdered. Like, isn't that...
He's trying to rescue Princess Peach, so he's just as bad as Mario. These two guys are the epitome of evil in the Mushroom Kingdom, but for different reasons. So Bowser is so obsessed with Princess Peach that he just can't understand why she would want to stay with Mario. And Peach has got this weight on herself that she has to protect all of the creatures in the Mushroom Kingdom. Otherwise, if she gets taken off by Bowser or Donkey Kong again, Mario is just going to lose his mind and just kill everything until she comes back.
So it's more like Bowser's rescuing Peach from a relationship that is really hampered on Peach needs to stay with Mario or Mario will murder a bunch of people.
Yes. So this is all three of these characters.
So she's in an abusive relationship in a sense.
Well, yes, possibly. I hadn't actually gone into that much. Because that's a whole nother disclaimer that we need to get into.
He puts a fire flower on her and like burns when she, yeah.
All three of these have got some really bad behavioral dynamics to them. So Peach feels like she wants to be with Bowser but can't because she's worried about the behavior of Mario. If she were to leave, he'd just go around murdering Goombas indiscriminately. And they're not doing anything. They're just wandering around. They're not hurting anyone. And he goes around killing them all. It's just not on. So
can I add that Luigi probably suffers from his severe anxiety due to seeing what Mario does to innocent people on a consistent basis? That Luigi fears everything because his brother is so manipulative and horrible that Luigi he has such anxiety trying to hurt other people that he just Mario just like Mario flips a switch for him. Like when Mario's gone, he doesn't know what to do with himself.
Liam, you were going to say something.
Oh well, I was just thinking whether you thought of the idea that Mario's more insane than even you're putting out here. The guy is a shroom addict. I'm just putting out that guy cannot get enough of their magic mushrooms.
Psilocybin is definitely a factor.
Right.
Heavy drug user.
Well, he's going around murdering all of these people with a smile on his face.
Well, he uses the mushrooms to keep himself calm as he's murdering the people. That's why he smiles while he does it. The mushrooms are helpful to relax him as he does these murderous acts to these poor innocent Koopas.
And the worst thing now is he's got a buddy who he can possess these people. That's even worse.
Yeah, the hat it's its own. It's like two evildoers dueling it up, where it's a symbiotic relationship. They help each other.
Hattie. Is it Hattie?
Cappy.
Is it
Cappy?
Yeah.
Who cares? Cappy and Mario are just they're enablers of them. They're enablers. That's the term, I'm sure.
So Toad is an enabler. He's so scared of Mario, he enables his behavior.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why Toad is terrified.
he finds him treasure and whatever else he does.
He finances his addiction. Little do we know.
I hope people now realise what we said when we were saying this was going to be absurd.
Yeah.
What do you think, Burkhoff? Is there any realness in this?
I agree with Liam. Have you guys all seen the Mario Game Over YouTube video? It was a live action video that was shot.
No.
It's a skit, and Mario's in New York and he's a plumber, and he gets into a fight with Peach, and then leaves, and then goes on a drug trip. It's hilarious.
It sounds hilarious. It sounds like something I would watch. Or have you seen the oh geez, it's a animated. It's like Mario Kart. I don't know what it was called, but it's an animated Mario Kart where like the actual like shells in that were very violent and actually murderous. So like you're murdering people on the vehicles when you're actually hitting them with shells and stuff.
I haven't seen that. No.
Great video. That's another good one to watch. That feeds into the psyche of what Mario feels like on a consistent basis.
Right. Who would like to go next with a video game character we think they might be suffering from something?
Oh, one last thing I do want to say. Mario Kart just feeds into the ultimate road rage of a character. Like, you don't want him behind the wheel. Like, golfing is probably just violent. Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, you can hit people in Mario Tennis. You can actually hit them flat in the face. Like, that's actually a mechanic in Mario Tennis. I played it. So, Super Smash Bros, he wants to literally murder every character on the screen. He doesn't. He's like, I can take my stuff to other worlds.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's because he's worried that Peach is going to run off with some anime character with spiky hair.
Kirby.
Oh, Scott's
Or with Kirby.
with Kirby. Hi. It's such a. He does wear pink. Pink is Peach's favorite color.
Right.
I'll
Who wants to
go.
go next?
I'll go. I'm gonna go with. This one's a little out of the realm of stuff, but I'm gonna go with Chris Redfield and Albert Wesker. Clearly, Albert Wesker has a fantasism of Chris Redfield. He can't get his name out of his head. Every time he says his name, it insinuates some kind of romantic, if not abusive, relationship that they have between each other. I mean, they constantly beat each other, constantly on a consistent basis between multiple games. This relationship has lasted for 10 years, guys. I mean, think about it. Like, ever since, I don't know what happened inside the mansion. You know, there are scenes where Chris is in a prison. Who knows? Wesker and them might have gotten together and they just broke up in the middle of it. And that's why he let the creature out and tried to kill Chris Redfield. I think there's something there that we're just missing because there's such obsession with Chris Redfield.
So the premise here is not PTSD, but it's an abusive relationship.
It's an abusive relationship, but I do give the game credit for actually giving him PTSD in the sixth game. But I do think between Albert Wesker and Chris Redfield, there is something there that we're all missing, and I think it's something either romantic or just some kind of abusive relationship between those two characters.
I think we're missing out on the Yahweh. Isn't that how you pronounce
Yowie?
the Yowie? The Yowie.
Yeah, the Yowie of them too.
The Yowie fan fiction. We're missing out on all that.
I mean, he really seemed to have an extreme obsession once Chris got those big muscles in Resident Evil 5. So
I literally have no idea what you two are banging on about right now.
do you play Resident Evil?
That's how I go through life, just not really knowing what's going on.
I've never played a Resident Evil game. I've never played a Zelda game.
Wait,
You probably would not know.
you're
do you
lying.
think, Liam?
You've never played a Resident Evil game?
Never played a Resident Evil game. Never played a Zelda game.
Get the fuck out of here.
Play Resident Evil 2 Reboot.
Okay, so,
All right,
see you
Liam, go
later.
ahead.
I was actually just about to disconnect my video as well. I feel sorry for Liam because he's just looking at his screen thinking, what the hell have I done?
What did I sign up for this week?
No, don't
Yeah.
worry. I'm just
There
checking
was
my
so-
internet. I'm having internet problems. It's very
Yeah,
strange.
There are so many other things I could have been spending my Saturday evening doing. Instead, I'm here with these three numpties.
What do you think, Liam? What do you think about my some kind of power relationship between Chris Redfield and Albert Wesker? Do you think of anything with it?
I mean, I always thought there was something very wrong with Leon Kennedy.
That's another one.
What do we think is wrong with Leon?
I think, actually, to be honest, I think almost every single mainline Resident Evil character is suffering from something because, Jesus, you go through a freaking zombie apocalypse more than once. There's got to be some kind of mental repercussions from that. But I think Leon S. Kennedy has severe anxiety, and the only way to not deal with it is to kill murderous people on a consistent basis. So the villagers, killing the zombies. He can justify murdering people because they aren't technically like normal or real or not.
Who's the person from Resident Evil who wears the skimpy outfit and high heels?
Ada Wong.
Okay, so Ada Wong, rampant narcissist.
I mean, she pretty much plays one.
That's the Vader one.
Yeah.
That's like every villain, right?
Yeah. Well, you think if I'm going to go into I'm going to go into a situation where there's going to be killer zombies, and I'm going to do it in a tight-fitting red dress and high heels.
She got to look good for work.
I mean, sometimes you just feel comfortable in certain clothes.
What's that girl in Jurassic World ran through the entire movie in heels?
In heels, yeah.
Ada Wong can do that too. Like it's doable. She just proved it in real life that you can do it with heels. Let alone Ada Wong has strap-on heels compared to where this girl, I can't remember her name, from
it's Ron Howard's daughter, whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, whatever her name is, she did it with non-strap-on hot heels.
Yeah, that's the one. Right, Matt.
I like the fact that you put the Elusive Man on this because every villain.
I have to bring up Mass Effect every time I can,
and I'm okay with that. But every villain has some level of megalomania. I think there's an intersection where money and eccentricity sort of meet that's just below insanity. And I think that it's highly enjoyable for those of us on the outside looking in. And the Elusive Man is that just borderline insanity.
I also think he's suffering from rampant narcissism as well, because he's the only person that can save the human race.
Oh yeah.
Or
get the person to save the human race. Like he's
the
he's chosen one.
But he would claim that if it weren't for him, Shepard would never have been there, blah, blah. So actually, he's the one who saved.
Oh, sorry. Everyone. Yeah. Shepard's an instrument of his saving the human race.
Exactly. So gotcha. Yeah, he's suffering from delusions of grandeur, but also rampant narcissism.
But somehow, in the end, spoiler for Mass Effect 2. Does it happen in 2 or 3?
3, where
is it 3? 3? Yeah, that his own saving the world involves his death.
Yeah.
So technically, it
didn't work out well.
It didn't work out well for him. Like he didn't get the grand jury of parades he wanted for. And plus, what would you put on that parade sign? The Elusive Man? Come on, like you gotta get it.
No, it would be the no longer elusive man. Thank you very much.
Elusive.
I've always read the end of Mass Effect that the Elusive Man was right, but just not the man for the job.
Ooh. The synthesis ending?
He was Morpheus, the one that
control
to save the world, regardless of what happens to Morpheus. I like that. I just got done watching The Matrix yesterday, guys, so that's why I got this whole Matrix in my brain.
That's not a surprise, Mitch. You're always about The Matrix.
It's on Blu-ray, and I was like, I haven't seen it in a while. So I watched 1. I'm going to watch 2 tonight and 3 tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, there's much fun with the other two.
I like all three. So
Yeah, so do I. In all honesty, I do.
Unlike other people think it's horrible, I actually quite enjoy both movies.
The ending of 3 was absolute tosh.
It's not over yet. There's a 4th movie. It's not really over.
Are we talking about Mass Effect or Matrix right now? Because I'm confused.
Matrix.
Okay.
Right, The Matrix. I didn't mind the ending of Mass Effect 3.
I didn't either.
It's just me.
I actually really liked the ending of Mass Effect 3. Can we talk about that for a second, or do we want to keep going?
No, we need to keep going. Stay on topic.
Okay.
Stay on topic. Stay on topic.
We're too close.
Luke, you turned your instruments off. Stay on topic. There's a whole nother franchise of people you could psychoanalyze. Right, so I'm going to lump 2 people together on the next one, which is Nathan Drake and Lara Croft. Now, there's 2 things. There's some physical injuries that we need to deal with,
right.
Which is their hands. I don't actually know how they could grip and use firearms with the number of calluses that they must have on their hands from all the climbing that they do.
They wear gloves.
Nathan Drake's quite happy just to kind of clamber up walls and bits of
I guess Nathan Drake
building. He never wears gloves.
Laura does.
He must spend the time between games just kind of soaking his hands and then moisturizing
That's what he's doing when you step away from the game. Like he's literally like sits down, puts his hands in moisturizer, ready, and then when you come back, he quickly like throws the bucket to the side.
He's got stock in Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
a family company,
maybe. But yeah, he must have his hands just must be full of calluses. Not mine, not soft and smooth like mine, because
your hands are baby smooth.
Oh yeah, mild green fairy liquid, baby.
Do you think that's masochistic tendencies?
No, I don't think so. It actually, Matt, it could be part of his split personality disorder that he and Lara both exhibit.
Okay, I'm on board with this.
So they constantly talk to themselves when they're alone. And they're quite happy to go from a state of what could be classed as normal behavior or moments of deep emotional response to circumstances happening around them to stuffing an ice pick into someone's neck.
When the stealth goes wrong.
Yeah.
I think there's also obsessive compulsive disorder for them as well. Like they're
collecting things.
Yeah, no, literally, yes. Like it's either the
hoarders.
Collection of the actual item or discovering something first before someone else does. Like they're so obsessed with that, they're willing to murder hundreds if not thousands of people. Like literally, they probably have, by the time you're done with all their games combined, they probably have taken out a population of a country.
Yeah, it's definitely a small country, each game.
Yeah, literally, you've taken out. I just don't know how many more soldiers there's going to be left in the world when you're done with this. That would be more interesting. Is by the end of the game, they're like, "Oh, we're out of soldiers." It's just, so we had to get these things instead.
Have you guys, of all 3 of you, seen Hot Shots Part 2?
A long time ago. I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
It's the spoof action movie with
Charlie Sheen.
I've forgotten. Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
And he's got the
chicken
45 caliber rifle, the 50 caliber rifle, and he's just mowing down people, and then it racks up the body count as higher than Commando, higher than RoboCop. It just goes up and up and up. They're nothing compared to Uncharted or Tomb Raider.
This is true. I was literally playing Uncharted 4 before I jumped on here. And I'm at the section where you're at the Scottish graveyard. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to stealth by all these guys, because that seems like the right thing to do. But the minute you F that up and they catch you, it's just everybody's firing at you. You're like, all right, I got to kill everybody now. Sorry, guys.
And who knows if you're actually killing them when you're stealthing them? What if you're choking them to death instead of choking them to knock them out?
Well, you can. They put an audible crack in to show it to make
it
it sound like you're breaking their necks.
Your necks. Yeah.
Either Nathan Drake is practicing really bad chiropractic,
or he has a lot of bones to crack that like just happens when he twists his arm the right way. He cracks like his fingers or his knuckles.
Yeah. I dislocated my elbow once, and now it means that it pops every time I put my arm around someone's neck.
You think there's also an argument for elder abuse? I mean, he's dragging along Victor Sullivan to all of his missions. The poor guy just wants to be left at home.
I love it.
He just wants to sit at home with a nice scotch and a cigar. But no, he's just like, where have I got to fly you this week, you arsehole?
And when he was a kid, he did put him in danger constantly, like purposefully.
But I think one of the clearest examples of Nathan Drake having some kind of split personality is Uncharted 3, where he's walking out of the desert and he all he wants is a drink of water, and then suddenly he sees a bad guy and just goes on a murderous rampage and kills everything in sight, as if he's just totally ignored the biological condition of him being thirsty, and he cures his thirst through bloodlust.
Oh my god. Yeah, Nathan Drake needs to see a psychiatrist, pretty much. Like by the end of that game, I don't know how he's fit to raise a child, because I wonder what that child, like literally people are talking about the next game and having the child be the star of the game, and it's like wonder if Nathan Drake teaches his tendencies to her. It's almost like Dexter all over again.
He's always so jovial and very charming. I think that's how he gets away with it.
How does Elena, that's my question, how does she justify letting him do this? Like, she clearly breaks up with him and makes up with again multiple times, but how does she justify being okay with him murdering so many people? Heck, Sully talks to him about recklessness and the way he treats, the way he's doing things in the third game. That's one of the reasons why I really like the third game a lot more than some of the other ones, because of the questioning of actually the player going like, is this all worth it? Murdering all these people? Is this really worth it? And
I think I've got an answer to that, which was she was in the upstream water bike thing with the floating barrels. So she's happy with anything just as long as she doesn't have to do that again.
Wasn't she the one that shot the barrels too?
No, was she driving and you were shooting? Yeah.
What was it?
I don't care.
Was
I
that
just
2
never
or
want to
3?
see that.
One.
The first one.
Oh,
I just never want to see that series of gameplay ever again in anything.
Going back and playing that, I don't know whether it's because of the collection, but it seems a lot easier and better than it was when I played it back on PlayStation 3. I
played it on the Uncharted collection. I never want to do that again.
Oh yeah, wow! My memory of it was completely different. I remembered it being so bad, and I'd like just get through that level so easy.
I just looked it up. She was on the back shooting while you were.
Okay. You were driving. She was shooting.
Yeah, so she was blowing up stuff, hardcore. Yeah. She was using a stronger weapon than you used, and yet she was really satisfied with it. She shot people with that weapon too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, but not nowhere near as many. And they were, and I think that section of gameplay is kind of warped her mind. Yeah,
that's why she goes on a shooting rampage with her camera guy.
Yeah,
her camera guy all of a sudden can wield a gun and start shooting up people. Like, I wonder if that's in the interview process of like, are you willing to murder hundreds of people for the story of the century? And then you can say yes or no. And if it's a no, they're not hired.
I like that his brother.
Also, Elena Fisher is more concerned with the sanctity of her camera than the sanctity of life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She's more worried about the equipment than her own person. She's like, you can get shot in the leg. Are you willing to take a bullet for the camera?
Well, the news needs to get reported.
And she needs her face on it.
Yeah. Despite what conservative politicians think of the BBC, the news needs to get reported.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Right. Liam and or Matt?
I'll pass this to
Liam.
Liam.
Liam, do you have a character you'd like to mention? You mentioned something on Discord, so I'm interested to hear where you're going to go with this.
I mentioned on Discord because if you want to make this conversation a little more serious, I thought one game that handled mental health particularly well was Call of Duty Black Ops.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. The
Okay.
second one a little, but not as much as the first one. I mean, your character is literally insane. The whole game. He has.
I haven't played the first one. I've played the second one. So does he have flashbacks in the?
Well, the first one's Nam, right? You're in Vietnam.
Yeah, it's in Vietnam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Which, if you actually lived through that, I wouldn't be surprised if you had some kind of mental health condition.
Especially if you were in a camp. That's even. I wouldn't be surprised if you had one either.
Although he was insane way before Nam, so. There's that
Oh my
sort of-
gosh! Wow, Vietnam. I was thinking Nazi. We've been on Nazis recently with the whole Bethesda conversation. I was thinking of Nam as Nazis. My bad.
No, those are the communists. Communism, National Socialism hate each other. So, yeah, dichotomous opposite philosophies.
Was it the second one? Was it Black Ops 2 where you played as the guy in South America? And
you played the drug lord.
Yeah, there's that
who
scene.
does actually go.
Rampage as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
he
there's
does
that
go on the
scene
murderous
where like
rampage,
you can't die or whatever. You're just running through killing people, and it's like red on the screen.
Yeah, because the USA tried to kidnap his son.
Something
that
like that.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it might be right.
I mean, I think if you're thinking about it, a lot of Call of Duties have some sort of mental illness on top of it because, I mean, we haven't even talked about the most talked about thing when it comes to Call of Duty, and that is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 shooting up the airport.
Right.
You literally are murdering people to hold your cover.
Well, it'll be
You're
interesting. It'll be interesting because they're basing, or at least they've said that the new Modern
It's
Warfare
like a new reimagining.
is based heavily on those types of themes.
I didn't shoot anyone. What does that say about me?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't have to actually shoot anyone.
I just wandered.
But
I just wandered through the airport.
The one thing that is brilliant about that game, though, is yes, they do not tell you have to. It is up to the person to decide, but it almost like seems like you have to based off what this type of game is and how you play the game and what the other characters are doing. It almost incentivizes you to do what they're doing to stay like, what's the word? In the crowd, like of what in the group you're in. But the clever part is you don't have to. And I think that's something that's really clever in games that I appreciate in games when they have an opportunity for that to happen, where it's like an example is Last of Us. You don't have to shoot the doctors that are about to stab into Ellie. You make the choice whether you're going to shoot that doctor or not. Now, I shot one of the doctors because he was right over her and he went back off, and I pointed the gun and he didn't do so. So, back off, bro. I need to get my girl. Those moments are so interesting because it opens up huge conversations about you as a person and things like that. But I think we were talking about mental health, and so I thought this worked perfect in it. Is just games that make you make those kinds of decisions. Really questions in regards to like, oh, is it you as the gamer really making that decision because that's what's socially acceptable in the game to do? Or is it that you just didn't want to do it, or it's really interesting? So
do we want to kind of, rather than go on to the characters, do we want to get into how we play games then?
Yeah, we can do that for a few minutes.
Unless Liam did this. Unless you wanted to throw yours in, Burkoff, or did you already?
We've let him talk enough this episode. He's filled his quota.
We have a timer. He gets 5 minutes per episode.
I like his name.
He just muted himself.
Yeah. Oh, I'm Burkoff to the elusive man, so never mind. Yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah.
Well, technically, the elusive man was mine, so Matt's only done none.
I just took Keith's.
Yeah, Matt's done none so far. So, do you actually have anyone you would like to talk about?
No, I mean the ones that were listed there were the ones that I was gonna kind of throw into the pot. So, I think those are the obvious choices, the ones we already went over.
Yeah, so I guess I'll throw it to you, Burkoff, then right away. Like, what do you think about games that offer a choice like that, like an option where it's like, it's not you don't have to do it, but you can. Is the game incentivizing you to do it, or what do you think?
I feel like I'm such a passive, patient, quiet person in normal everyday life that I tend to be more aggressive in games just because that's an outlet for that, you know? I play the Renegade Shepherd. In Skyrim, I'm running around thieving and murdering people because I can, you know?
So Burkoff as the nice man, he's such an asshole in game.
Yeah, like why not, right? Because that's not who I am in real life, so.
Well, so Matt's just waiting for the purge to be real. That's what he's saying.
The only thing I would ask you, Burkoff, on top of that, and I guess I'll throw the same question to everybody so everyone gets an opportunity to kind of answer this, because I think it's really interesting, is now you said you kind of do it because that's kind of your style. Do you ever think of like, what would my character do? Like my example would be like, if you played Last of Us Part 1 where you could shoot the doctor or not shoot the doctor, is that based off your choice, or do you go, what would the character do in that situation, and then just do it?
I don't know that I personally ever think about the character because I'm always sort of stepping in place of the character as the player.
You're projecting yourself into the character.
Yeah.
Even if it's something like a storyline that it's not an RPG, not an open world, but something that's a lot more centered story-wise. So like something like Nathan Drake, like an Uncharted, or even The Last of Us is really that's a set character. Do you still?
There's a linear path to it as well.
Yeah.
Well, like I was saying, like if we want to take it back to Uncharted, like Nathan Drake's such a comical, jovial character. It is kind of funny to see him just run around and murder all these people because it doesn't make sense.
He's a total selfish arsehole as well.
What do you think? Liam, what do you think about those kind of two questions that I threw off to Burkoff about characters?
Like you bring up The Last of Us. I think a lot. I'm not sure we're the best examples of this, but I've heard a lot of examples of people being absolutely disgusted by the end of that game. I mean,
that they shot the doctor, or didn't shoot the doctor, or feel disgusted by what?
Well, it's worse than that because he's not just shooting the doctors to get the girl. He's also taken away the chance that she could be a cure to the to the whole premise of the game. Yeah.
Well, if you take a purely utilitarian view.
I'm sorry?
Do you project yourself in there? Like project yourself onto that character, or do you go based off what you think the character would do in that situation?
I would project myself onto the character, I think. So if there's something I don't want to do, I would probably dither for a while and probably get shot or something like that, you know. But, you know, then finally be confronted, I have to do this option or that option when I reload the checkpoint or something.
Okay. What do you think?
In the case of Last of Us, I didn't shoot anyone, but I would have if I'd had to. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. Liam and I have spoken about my opinions on The Last of Us, which really upset Evan.
So much so that he's not on this episode.
Yeah. Don't start, for fuck's sake. There's it. Okay, let's go there. You brought it up. Let's go there. You've got two guys.
I haven't played Yakuza.
Good. Don't. They're rubbish. Yeah, you can see Mitch's look on his face.
I gave you
dare
the stare
you?
down. How dare you insult a fellow Wisconsinite's favorite game?
Shame on you.
Everybody's favorite turn-based game.
Yes, it seems to be his favorite turn-based game. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's going to be Burkoff's favorite game because it's turn-based.
I do like menu options.
So if you since we've brought up the Yakuza franchise, you've got Kazuma Kiryu, who is meant to be this stoic hard guy who will quite happily, at the behest of a random person, dress up like a royal idiot just to make sure that they have a good day.
He's got the ultimate and most severe case of ADD that I've ever seen.
Yeah. And then on the opposite
I don't think
side,
we can talk about this, McWomble, because you really haven't played the game. But I mean, I would say that he's an honorable person, and maybe he's obsessed with being. He may have an obsession with being.
he's an honourable member of the Yakuza who do terrible, horrible criminal things.
But he doesn't. But he technically doesn't do them. Like, he may work for the Yakuza, but throughout the games, he actually ends up doing the right thing, which is protecting people. And yes, are there
dressing up as a baseball mascot and looking like a right tit? And he's meant to be this hard guy who could.
He's not meant to be a hard guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a dragon of Dojima.
Yeah, because he's a tough fighter. But there's many moments in the games where actually he gets out of his shell a lot. There's opportunities where plenty of times in the games where like characters will soften him up a bit, and you can tell there's more to it than just this hard shell of honor, respect, and glory.
I think he's just lying to himself. He needs to be true to himself, give up the life as a Yakuza, and become a baseball team mascot.
But he
does
play the game. I don't want to spoil the game for some of you. So
I think he's got a one up on Lara Croft and Nathan Drake though, because he's not actually murdering anybody. He's just beating him up.
Yeah, he technically doesn't kill. He does kill people sometimes.
Yeah.
But I guess an example where I would disagree extremely with you, McWomble, is there's a moment in the game
you think those games are good and I don't.
No. I think they're good. I don't think they're amazing, but they're good games. I think there is a moment in one of the games where he has an opportunity to take over the head job and be in charge of the Yakuza in his area, and he turns it down.
Instead, he dresses up as a clown because someone asked him nicely, and they gave him tissues.
No, he turned it down because he felt like it was the right thing to do. So no, he doesn't suffer from any kind of maybe ADD. I would agree with the ADD because he's got to help every single person that walks by. But besides that, I don't think
he has to collect every single pack of tissues that anyone offers to him.
But McWell, I'm going to ask you back to what we were talking about before. I know you have your beef with The Last of Us, but you could use the example of Modern Warfare. You kind of walked by and not shot anybody in that Modern Warfare 2. What's your thoughts on games that give you opportunities like that, where like it's maybe more game acceptable to do something, but you don't have to do it in that moment?
It's interesting, and this is why I like Western RPGs more than I would say JRPGs, and I've only ever tried to play a couple of JRPGs and thought, this is a load of shit.
Which JRPGs are they? I just want to know.
Oh, what did I try and play? I tried to play... Matt, what did you play for nearly 4 million hours on Switch? I played the demo, and I've forgotten the name of the game.
Fire Emblem?
No. What came out before that? It looked really like Final Fantasy.
Oh, Octopath?
Octopus Travel Fast.
Yeah. Octopath Traveler.
Okay.
And I can't remember the other one I played years ago.
Gotcha.
But in Western RPGs, there's a bit more nuance to the choices that you get. So I'm thinking about my time with Mass Effect. So whenever I played my first playthrough of Mass Effect, and this is kind of gives you a bit of insight into my character. My first one is I am going to do everything that I perceive to be good throughout the entire game. And so I will try and help in my sense of wanting to be Kazuma Kiryu and his ADD. I will help everyone. The next playthrough, I will go and be an absolute dick to everyone in every possible way. So I go full Paragon, full Renegade, and then for my third playthrough, I went and did a mix of everything. So what I perceive to be kind of the best thing in that scenario.
Your Shepard.
Yeah, so I go through 2 full playthroughs of seeing everything that could possibly happen, and then I play it the third time as me.
Right.
And say,
for a game that doesn't give you choice, so like a game like, I'm just using an example of like Modern Warfare 2 or The Last of Us, where it's a more linear structure.
Good example. Spec Ops: The Line.
Spec Ops: The Line is another one. Yeah. When it's those linear set characters, do you project yourself into that character and make choices based off that? If there's very minute choices, or do you think, what would that character do?
If it's not an RPG, no. If it is just an avatar or vehicle to move the game forward, which it is in quite a lot of more linear told stories, absolutely not. This person is a vessel, which is quite a lot of the issue that I had with some of the Call of Duty games. And people were saying, oh, it's so deep and meaningful when the atom bomb goes off and your sergeant, who never speaks to you, you never get introduced to, is crawling and he looks up at the mushroom clouds and, oh, how deep and meaningful that was. It's like, I couldn't care less.
No, I loved that sequence in the game because it was freaking awesome, not because it was deep and meaningful.
Yeah, I couldn't wrap my head around why people were saying, "Oh, this is so deep and meaningful," because we don't know who this person is. We've got no attachment to them whatsoever.
The Modern Warfare franchise is like a Michael Bay movie on steroids, and like if you want something deep and meaningful, that's why you play the Black Ops games, you know.
Well, if we want to kind of scooch back to topic, in a game that I know Mitch loves and I've recently finished, that is deep and meaningful, and does talk about mental health in a particularly well nuanced way, is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh yeah, that game's. If you've not played that game, that is one of the games.
Liam pulled a face that I want to know what that face was for.
I have not played Hellblade yet. I've got it sitting on my Xbox right now, ready to go.
Dude, it's like, if I say if there's 3 games I need you to play this generation to say it's a memorable game, it's a game that is going to maybe possibly change the way you feel about games in certain aspects, Hellblade's on that list, hands down.
Oh.
And play with headphones. It says it on the recommendation. Follow the recommendation. Headphones, it's an unreal experience.
Sound is incredible in that game.
Yeah, not just that. It's how they deliver the story through certain things. So
visual cues, audio cues. It's a sensory game. It's insane.
And I won't be spoiling anything for you, but just to say, in terms of so Senua hears voices, multiple voices, and so if you're trying to solve a puzzle, some of the voices will start saying things like, she'll never solve it. She doesn't know how to solve it. And then other voices will start saying, so from one side through your headphones, you'll hear, she'll never solve this. She doesn't know how to solve this. I don't even know why we're here. We should go back. And then through the other headphone, you'll be hearing another set of voices saying, no, she knows what she's doing. She can do this. She can do this. It is really as cleverly done as they could possibly get it.
Is it simultaneous?
Oh yeah, and even better is that they have the audio so that you can, to the point where sometimes you feel like they're talking in the back of your head. like at the back of your head, sometimes right in front of you. The directional sound of what they do with it is so well done. Like they have to be, I'm guessing it's the mixture between the two locations to like get the sound to be at the exact location. But sometimes a voice is literally circling as they talk to you. And it is really, really amazing to listen to.
And it's not like Lara Croft and Nathan Drake where they're talking to themselves. It's obvious that this person has voices talking to her, and she will talk back to them.
Yeah, they said that for this character, they would diagnose her with a mental disorder. I can't remember the exact one. I don't think it's schizophrenia. I believe it's. Actually,
I think I remember this. Even though I haven't played the game, I think I remember. I think it was. Oh man.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but she does. They actually.
I think she was bipolar, right?
What was that?
Maybe.
Amongst other things.
Yeah. So it's just really well done. They did their research. Like that game visually, audibly. It's probably one of the most, and it's probably the best case of actually experiencing some kind of mental disorder because of just, the audio that you hear. That's what people actually hear with some people that actually suffer from the specific disorder that they decide to give to her. And it's just so interesting because it brings you from another viewpoint. As a person I work with people with disabilities. And so I run into a lot of different mental health issues on top of it. It was such an amazing experience that when I did mental health training a while back for work, I talked to them about this game and kind of showed them some of the audio that I was listening to. And they're like, this is amazing. They thought of even bringing it in to talk to their the company that did the training to see if that's something they wanted to integrate to use as examples of possibly what the person is going through at that moment that may be suffering from this mental disorder.
So it has some important applications that could be helpful outside of video games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This one they did their research. They used a lot of different societies and well-known mental health servicers and interviewed people that had the same type of mental health disorders to create an experience that would mimic what they go through.
Yeah. But the best thing about it is the best thing about it is it's got a guy who plays someone from the Isles of Orkney who actually sounds Scottish. Tick, game of the year.
Well, I think it's really interesting that this game, I always think of it as, Hellblade was, it's almost like the successor to, oh Jesus, now I'm forgetting the name of it. It's like Heavenly Sword. Thank you. Yeah. It's because she was going through voices in her head. Nariko. There was moments where she was hearing voices and then she was talking to you at the screen about, she wasn't good enough for this, good enough for that. So as I thought about it longer, I was like, wow, this is just an evolution of what they were doing before, which is really interesting. It's on a whole nother level.
Just want to point out, Ninja Theory just 10 minutes down the road from me. So
nice.
I should really play their game, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Knock on the window.
It's not very long too. Like it's probably 5 hours, 5-6 hours.
No, I by the end
10?
of it, yeah, it's about 8 to 10.
Okay. I mean, it depends on how fast you solve the puzzles too, because some of them are pretty simplistic.
Annoying.
Well, I mean, this was their, what do they call it? They called it a AAA game on a AA budget.
What is the combat like? What's the combat like?
Repetitive.
It's non-upgradable. It's just you against one or two other opponents, and it's all about positioning and your swing and what type of swing you do and what kind of block do you do. It's really strategic in that aspect, but it's not very like, you're not going to upgrade your weapon to be maximum level or anything like that, if I remember right.
But when you're in combat, listen to the voices.
Yeah, they help. It's really interesting.
Right, okay.
The voices are really tools for you.
My wife is really interested in this game.
Not help you as well.
No, they in combat they only help you, which is
Okay.
what I thought was a bit odd because you go through the whole game and some of the.
I disagree because there are sometimes some of the voices, if you spend too long on a puzzle like I did on one of them, a couple voices told me go left, like, and then all of a sudden I went left and I was like, oh, found it. So I think they do eventually use them as a guide, but most of the time it's used to have conversations within your brain of what you're thinking at those moments.
Yeah, and there's one of the voices who narrates it for you as well.
Yes.
But it's not like Nathan or Lara where they narrate themselves. Right, so where do I go from here?
So, me. All
Yeah.
And she justifies talking to herself because she's talking, you think she's talking to the voices by talking to herself. It's really interesting sometimes. Like sometimes she'll have almost a conversation where the voices are so overpowering of negativity that she talks to herself to say, no, I can do this. No, I can go forward. I need to keep moving. Stuff like that to block out that negative, which is really just so interesting.
Not just Lara Croft telling herself to keep walking through snow.
I have a fatal stab wound, but I'll keep walking. Yeah. I need to find shelter. Obviously, it's raining. I should find shelter, but I need to say I need to find shelter.
What does everybody think of the Tomb Raider games here? Okay.
I like them.
I like the reboot. I haven't played Shadow of or Rise of yet.
Shadow's my favorite. Rise is my least favorite. The first one is my second favorite of the three.
I prefer the classic games. If Moss, when Lara Croft is less of a psycho.
Yeah, I mean, I love
when she's murdering dinosaurs rather than
dinosaurs and tigers.
Or when you look up and there's no sky, it's just black. Like apparently, like the you're supposed to, when you go to that Tyrannosaurus, when you meet the Tyrannosaurus Rex, apparently there's supposed to be sky in that level, but apparently they didn't have enough polygons or data to put into making a sky, so it's just black above. So it makes it look like you're still in a cave, but you're supposed to be in open plains with sun.
Yeah. So
there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex running around that you take down with dual pistols.
Yeah, so that goes drone.
Here's reality.
Well, and then when it grabs you up, flicks you around, it's really funny. If it does get you.
I can't wait for them to make a game that has absolutely no shooting in it. It's just puzzle solving and platforming. But guys, it's been
in a game where Lara has at least conversational Spanish.
Yeah.
like Evan was talking about.
Actually is going to if they're talking in the reverse language.
Yeah.
I think honestly these games, I guess the last thing, because I know we're a little over time, so I would just say as my last question to you guys would be, do you prefer them not to talk to themselves? Or what would you replace it with?
Yeah.
Sorry, Liam, go ahead. I cut you off. Go ahead.
It depends how it's done. I mean, I just recently finished playing Control. You know,
how was it?
Yeah, I saw all the trophies flashing up on my feed saying Tomb Raider's another trophy.
Did you like it?
Them this morning.
Nice.
I could go into it. It's a whole thing. I think it's
short and
strange at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a disappointingly strange game, but brilliant at the same time.
Okay, it's on my list to pick up. I really want to pick it up soon. And
I would get it slightly off if I was you. Yeah, I wouldn't get it a full price, not quite.
Okay.
Although, you know, that's up to you. But the character constantly, the main character, Jessie Faden, she constantly talks to herself. You sort of hear her in a dialogue when she's talking to other people and what she thinks about what they're saying. But it's like, doesn't work most of the time because she's just repeating what you're probably thinking. You know, it's just out of place.
That you're in the same mindset. That's all she wants to know.
I guess so. Sometimes it's a little bit like the classic Max Payne games, but less well written. like that, yeah.
All right, McWomble, what do you think? Do you want less talking?
Yes. I don't need do we talk to ourselves? Do I, when I'm walking to work and I suddenly come across some roadworks and I need to go a different way, it's like, oh, Keith, you really need to go a different way.
No, I totally agree with you. I think the only moment where I think talking would be used or like seemed like it would be natural is if something crazy happens. So obviously when Nathan Drake jumps up and if like the ledge starts tripping a little bit, obviously I'd be talking. Yeah, I'd be going, I'd be talking to myself. I'd be hysterical for a minute going, I almost died back there. Holy crap. Like, yeah, I get that. But yeah, just to walk and talk to yourself, I think there needs to be something. I know they're trying to put something there to kind of make it, the time to pass by and feel like it's not so silent. But I think those are wonderful moments you could really show off the audio of a game, of like the sights, the sounds, the surroundings. That would be a really good aspect. What do you think, Burkoff?
I don't mind it as long as it's cueing me into something that I might be missing in the game. So as long as it's something that's not completely obvious, like no shit, Sherlock. Okay, like you don't need to say that. But if it's something that like legitimately is like, oh, yeah, okay, I didn't realize that. I'm cool with it.
So like an example, like if you had a conversation with someone and something was off, but you didn't know because you don't know that other character really well, and they go, she seemed a little off there. Like something's going on. I should keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
Like LA Noire.
Right, where it could be a completely normal conversation. You're not really sure one way or the other, but then like they make a remark like, oh, okay, I should keep that in mind, type of deal.
Yeah. They should make another one of those games. I know Team Bondi totally wrecked the development process, but I really like that game.
All right, so Liam, thanks for joining us. I know you had some technical issues in the beginning, but I think we got worked out.
Yeah.
And welcome anytime. If you want to be on the show, because McWomble forgot this part again, but I'll take care of it for you.
You can take my place next week because I won't be here.
Oh, okay. McWomble won't be back next week, so it'll be Burkoff, myself, and maybe another special guest. We'll see. But if you do want to be part of the show,
British person.
As long as it's a British person.
If you're British and you want to be on the Beerumverate, please.
So if you ever do want to be on the show at all whatsoever, feel free to message Burkoff, McWomble, or myself on Sifted. We have a Discord channel that we can get you on, which is where we set up times, topics, all that kind of stuff. If you do have a topic you want to talk about when you come on the show, let us know, because we do have some backlog topics, but if it's something that's way more interesting that you're interested in, we'd love to talk about it with you. So message us on Sifted and we'll get you on that Discord channel.
And I bet none of you are ever going to think about Mario in the same way ever again.
No, you've ruined it. I can't play that game anymore.
I will just, I'll just go, he's killing all these people as I'm killing people.
All right, gentlemen.
It's just...
Are we done?
I just had this thing in my head of Mario humming a song to himself as he's jumping on Goombas.
He's humping the song. Da, 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 bam.
And on that note.